Hello marketers, as some of you may know, there are a plethora of online courses and platforms out there to learn digital marketing. And one of these platforms has definitely made a positive impact on me personally, and that is the CXL Institute. As some of you may know, back in 2021, this is the time that I really started to get curious about digital marketing. This was the time where I was transitioning from being made redundant from another company, and I essentially had a 4-week window to search for a new job, but at the same time that gave me space to want to learn more about digital marketing. So I started to research more about what other digital marketing skills I can learn. I discovered a few platforms, and as mentioned, one of them being the CXL Institute. During that time, I discovered new terminologies such as growth marketing, conversion rate optimization, landing page optimization, MarTech stack, growth hacking, growth marketing, blitzscaling, all these very interesting terms. Some of the platforms that I discovered apart from the CXL Institute was Reforge and Growth Tribe. Still to this day, I'm still studying. I'm still very curious about the field, hence starting this YouTube channel. I still have that curiosity in mind. So just for context, the course that I studied at the CXL Institute is the Growth Marketing Minidegree. I believe they might have changed the name. I don't think they use the terminology Minidegree as they used to back in 2021. And I think the platform's going through a few changes, but I will link their website below if you're interested in checking them out. Luckily for me at the time, CXL also had a scholarship offer. So all you had to do to get the scholarship, which would give you the Growth Marketing Minidegree for free, is that you apply for it. So once you've applied for it and you get approved, the only return you give CXL is leaving them a weekly review, essentially. So giving them feedback. And right there, that's an excellent growth experiment or virality loop, right? Because they're giving me an opportunity to learn marketing, and I give them essentially free content. So when you search for CXL Growth Marketing Review, my post on it is actually one of the top ranking organically. I will also link that below if you're interested in reading more about my review of the CXL Institute. Maybe you're much more of a reader than watching videos, so that's an option for you. This is not a sponsored post, although I have applied for their affiliate link. If that does get approved, I will leave an affiliate link below just to be transparent, but this will be unbiased. I'm going to mention the good, the bad, and some good to knows. Trust my word on this. First of all, so let's start with the fact that I'm a big advocate of self-learning or self-education. What I like about the CXL Institute from initially discovering them is that the Growth Marketing Minidegree is self-paced. You can learn it in your own time. There's no time limit. Even the exam at the very end, once you've gotten through some of the courses, there's no forced guidelines in what to study, when to study, and how to take the exam. It's very much, they give you the opportunity to dictate that yourself. And as grown adults, that's great. Whereas I'm not going to bash any particular platform, bootcamp, or university, but with those types of learning, there are guidelines, and maybe your personality type doesn't quite work in those environments. So personally, I like flexibility, and you'll definitely get that with the CXL Institute. And keep in mind, during this time, I had a full-time job. You personally might have other responsibilities, so to be able to learn while you're dedicating time to another project is great. You can essentially work and study at the same time. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm personally passionate about marketing, as odd as it is to say that, but I'll definitely say that I have a deep curiosity about marketing. Hence, till this day where I'm 7 years into digital marketing specifically, I still learn every day. I'm still very curious about what's happening, what might happen in the future. And with that, hearing the term growth marketing, because at the time I didn't know what that was, it definitely piqued my interest. I did want to have that label personally. It has a certain spark to it. And yeah, I can gladly say that I do consider myself a growth marketer, and I think the CXL course definitely has influenced that part of me quite heavily. Now let's talk about what the hell CXL actually is. So CXL, it's a It's an online learning platform focused specifically on training marketers, and there's obviously many different subjects and teachers you'll get within the platform. There's generalities to it, but there are aspects of it where it's more specialized. Maybe you just want to learn specific channels like product marketing, data analysis, or even paid advertising, so you can take that avenue as well. There are over 150 plus courses, so it's essentially Disneyland if you're a marketer interested in learning more about marketing, right? You have all these array of options, but that can also be of detriment when you're overwhelmed. There's no particular road that CXL will enforce you to, so I think there's an aspect of taking responsibility in what initially piques your interest, and then maybe go towards that avenue, and at the same time learn other topics, learn other marketing channels. I wouldn't necessarily say that CXL is just an online learning platform. There's a community aspect to it. If you go to their website, you'll see that there's a blog section, there's resources you can download, there's even a Facebook group you can join. There's a bit of an ecosystem aspect to the business, which is great. But what really separates CXL from a lot of other platforms like Udemy is that the teachers you'll have are practitioners and they're experts in their field, right? These aren't people who are reading off a textbook. These are people who are actually doing it. And I'm a big advocate of learning from someone who's actually doing it rather than someone who's textbook smart. From my point of view, the best way to learn is by doing it. And if you're learning from someone who's already done it, that's one of the more better environments to learn. So now let's talk about the pros and cons of the CXL Institute. Let's start with pros. The first pro I have is that you will be taught by subject matter experts. So these are people, as mentioned, that have done it. You can tell that they are very passionate about what they're teaching. They give you case studies if it's relevant, if it's applicable. They give you examples of how they would deploy the things that they're teaching. Their Facebook ads or meta ads course is probably one of the better courses I've gone through in general, right? It's really a goldmine because it teaches you a lot of different aspects of Facebook ads from beginner level to intermediate to advanced. Next is there's not a lot of platforms that cater specifically to marketers. Then I feel like CXL is one of the few platforms that I feel like really resonates with marketers. And when I landed on their website for the first time, it felt like it was speaking to me directly. And it's a great marketing play. If your audience is generally marketers, that's your ideal customer persona, speak to them directly. Don't try to catch all the fish when there's a specific type of fish you're trying to catch. It doesn't necessarily mean that CXL is only for marketers. We know that. But I think in terms of their messaging, I think it really resonated with me. And you do feel that when you start learning. It feels like you're in an ecosystem full of marketers. And going on a tangent here, but that's what I want this channel and futures marketers to be. I want you to feel like you're part of a marketing community, essentially. So do watch this space. Next is they have over 150 courses, so you will learn a lot depending on how much you're into learning, especially if you like learning many different subjects. This is definitely the place to be. You'll learn a lot of very simple topics, but at the same time it goes quite advanced. And from my perspective, I actually feel like CXL is more for mid-level marketers rather than beginners. Not to say that if you're a beginner marketer you shouldn't dabble in it, but there are subjects or courses there that's quite mid to advanced level. And when I was studying it at the time back in 2021, I struggled to keep up sometimes, but that's a good thing. I think it's generally a good thing when you're getting confused and there's a complex topic that you're trying to learn. That tension you feel is a good thing because that means you don't know about that topic and you're actually learning something. You learn by confusion. And with that, when you're competing with the best of the best and the fact that AI might replace a lot of marketing skills, the ability to learn many different topics within marketing is definitely a must at this point. Learning as much as you can within the field you've chosen, which is, I'm assuming you're a marketer, makes a lot of sense. The next pro is that CXL has a certain prestige to it. If you're a marketer and you're quite savvy about the world of marketing, I'm very confident you would have heard of CXL. And within the community, when you have a CXL certification or you're associated with it, I think it elevates your profile and it can even elevate your CV, in my opinion. It's a form of social proof. And let's be honest, if you're a marketer, you do need to market yourself whether you like it or not. And you might as well do that by being associated with a platform like CXL and have a certification from them. And the final pro of studying at the CXL or the CXL Growth Marketing Minidegree is that you can craft your own way of learning. There might be a roadmap and there might be specific topics that they bundle up. So it makes more sense if you want to learn specific marketing channel or responsibility. You can really personalize your way of learning. So you might want to initially learn paid ads and then transition into data analysis, or you might want to learn product marketing and then branding. You can almost upskill yourself in the way that you feel is relevant for you. The way I've done it, so the Growth Marketing Minidegree, I essentially, to pass it, you do need to go through all the different courses anyway, and that's what I did. I didn't necessarily have a strong roadmap, but if you do read my week-on-week review of the Growth Marketing Minidegree, you will see the roadmap that I took. Again, links below if you're interested in reading it. So now let's talk about the cons of the CXL Growth Marketing Minidegree. The first one is, although predominantly most of the courses are pretty up-to-date, they're still relevant. A lot of them you can tell are outdated. To be fair, I wouldn't say that's CXL's fault, because digital marketing is evolving pretty much on a daily basis. Even the topics that I teach about now, in a year it might become obsolete. That's just the nature of digital marketing, unfortunately. But I did find, even back in 2021, I did feel like some of the courses didn't quite feel as relevant as it did during that time. The next con is that, while I do appreciate that most of the teachers there are subject matter experts and they really know their stuff, some of them did unfortunately, I feel like, lack enthusiasm. I don't know if they were forced to create a course or maybe they were mostly reading off a script, but I think when you're learning from someone who isn't quite enthusiastic about the topic and maybe there's no intention to teach the other person, that really comes across the screen. And in this case, there were a few teachers where I didn't feel like they had the spirit of teaching, and maybe I'm nitpicking, but maybe they just didn't have the charisma that I felt I needed from a teacher. Maybe that's just me. Maybe you're the kind of person who just wants to learn from someone talking about the topic. But for me, when someone has a bit of enthusiasm when they communicate, I get to buy in more to the information. So that's that. Third con is that some of these subjects, while very interesting, I do feel like most of the courses were designed to be too theory-based, whereas the practical aspects of the subject were more of an afterthought. So for me, I'm a big fan of you learn by doing, as mentioned, and some of the courses could have maybe expanded on how to actually do the thing. Just as an example, if we're going to talk about PR marketing or influencer marketing, maybe give us a practical step-by-step on how you actually do it from beginning all the way to the end, even in the result. So yeah, practical-based learning was quite lacking in general. Next con is more of a small complaint, to be honest, just because I tend to have high standards, but there were CXL courses that were literally an hour long. It could easily have been a YouTube video, for example, and for whatever reason, even though it's an hour long, they still wanted to segment it quite heavily. That specific 1 hour course, which I won't name, was segmented into more than 10 different videos, and some of those videos were only a minute long, and I felt maybe it was a bit overkill in the way that they've segmented the video. It could have just been a 1 hour video. It didn't have to be segmented into 10 different videos, for example. And the final con is a tough one to expand on because it's very subjective. I feel like there's a lot of great courses, but most of the courses don't quite tie into each other. There is no through line in learning the ecosystem of marketing as a whole. If they were talking about paid search, for example, it's very much focused on paid search, where maybe it could have easily went on a tangent and talked about data analysis, even if it's more of an afterthought. When you're learning marketing, the best way to learn marketing, or to learn in general, is to connect it to other subjects related to that field. Essentially, I feel like there could have been more complementary insights and tangents for specific courses. When I teach a specific subject, I will relate it to maybe a business context or a practical case study unrelated to the topic that I'm teaching. Maybe I'll use an analogy. Long story short, some subjects could have been connected to other subjects, which it should be, right? Marketing is one whole discipline, And even though there's different subsets to it, in one way or another, they are all connected. Next up is just some general good to knows and tips if you are interested in studying at the CXL Institute. So the first one is, I'm a big advocate of valuing time. If you can, I'd recommend you definitely increase the speed when you're watching the videos to ×2 or maybe ×1.5 if that's available. It just speeds up your learning. If you're going to study 50 different topics and it's 100 hours long, imagine if you watch that at twice the speed, you will go through the course in half the time, essentially, rather than you taking 100 hours, now you're only going to take 50 hours. Next is, I would urge you to connect with the instructors on LinkedIn. They don't blatantly promote the instructors, unfortunately, so you have to do your own digging. I've even connected with the founder of CXL himself, Pete. Definitely build your network, especially if it's an instructor you feel you enjoyed their course. Connect with those people. You might be able to extract more insights if you approach them directly. Next is, while the CXL is a good platform to learn marketing, I would highly encourage you to learn the same exact topic from many points of view. So learn it from another platform, learn it from another teacher, read books about the topic. The best way to learn a topic is from seeing it from many points of view and seeing it from many angles, essentially. That's how you solidify the neural pathways of you learning that specific topic. There's no such thing as the best platform or online course to learn digital marketing. Study them all. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I do have a written format of this review that's quite more extensive. I will link that below if you're interested in reading. Overall, if you're interested in digital marketing, or even if you're interested in learning in subsets of digital marketing, whether that's social media, affiliate marketing, data analysis, paid advertising, I would definitely be encouraging you to study CXL courses. I am a big advocate of it. Even if I did get the course for free and then I paid for the Growth Marketing Minidegree, I would still say the same thing. I would still encourage people to learn it. If you do have more specific questions that I haven't gone through, leave your questions in the comment section below. I will happily engage and help you out. I did apply for their affiliate marketing program, so potentially if I'm approved, I will leave an affiliate link below just to be transparent. Thanks for watching the video. Keep learning. Till next time. Peace.